Is up? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a film that was in theaters. Did you see it in theaters, or was it streaming?
No, it went to Netflix.
It was on Netflix. Okay, so
yeah, it was a Netflix original.
then it definitely was just Netflix then.
No, not necessarily. I mean, Don't Look Up, played in some theaters. So it may have played in some theaters. I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not for sure if it played in theaters or not, but I saw it on Netflix.
As did I.
Probably like 8 months after you did, or something like that. So
only like 1 month.
yeah. But yeah, definitely one of those ones where I saw it after you did. But I say without further ado, I say we get right into it. So the film that we're actually referring to is going to be The Power of the Dog, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Jesse Plemons, and Kirsten Dunst. And it is, and also Cody Smith-McPhee, which is, it's a Western, I guess, if you will. It's kind of set in like the West. It's in Montana, like at the turn of like the 19th century, like early 1900s. And basically, Benjamin Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons are brothers, and they basically are they own like a cattle ranch, or their parents own a cattle ranch. It's a little confusing about that. Their parents, I think, own the cattle ranch, but I think they manage it or run it or something of that nature. Because I think like the mom or somebody, it might be the owner. I was a little confused about that part. There was something fuzzy about that. I'm not for sure. So
I can't remember. I saw it like a month ago. So
okay, yeah. In the event, they're basically the owners of a cattle ranch, and they basically have like hands that basically do all of the help them out with the work and things of that nature, steering the cattle and corralling and all that kind of stuff. And they live, like I said, like in Montana back in the early 1900s. And they're brothers. They live together. They've kind of been together always. And Benjamin Cumberbatch's character, and his name was Phil, and his brother's name is George. Phil's kind of a jerk, basically. I mean, there's just no way to put it. He's just basically a jerk. He's kind of rude to people. He's really arrogant. He calls his brother like fatso and fat and things of that nature. He's kind of rude to his own brother. And they basically, every once in a while, they go to a restaurant that's a little ways away from where their ranch or ranch, wherever it is. And that's where they basically encounter a widower who's actually played by Kirsten Dunst, and her son. And the widower's name is Rose, and her son's name is Peter. And they encounter them, and Phil is basically rude to him, and and the son is basically different, I guess, if you will. I guess at that time he might have been considered somebody that may have been more feminine, I guess, if you will. I don't know if his sexuality ever actually came up in the film or not, but he comes across as more feminine. He like makes like flowers and out of like paper mache and things of that nature. And so basically Benjamin Cumberbatch's character Phil basically kind of like makes fun of him and just kind of treats him kind of rudely, and just kind of like it's just not really a nice guy to him, basically, in a nutshell. And so he basically is very rude, and I'm kind of going through a whole long spiel to kind of go into it. But in a nutshell, basically, his brother ends up taking a liking to the widower, and they basically get together, and they kind of form like a relationship. And eventually, for whatever reason, they decide to get married like very soon. Welcome back, Jason. And they decide to get married very soon. And he basically invites her to come live at the mansion or the ranch with him, which causes a rift with his brother because they've kind of always been used to like living together. And then also they sent the son off to boarding school just because of the fact that they didn't think that he didn't want to go there because Phil was so rude to him. And then also he didn't know how that was going to turn out for him. In any event, long story short, basically the son at some point does come and spends like the summer there. And basically in a nutshell catches Phil doing something that at that time would not have been accepted. he would not have known anyone to. Nobody would have. I don't want to go into spoilers, but he basically catches him doing something that at that particular time, I think that he would have been ostracized himself. You know what I mean? Because he comes across as this really like tough macho guy, but the son basically catches him doing something that would be something not considered macho basically at that time. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to go into too much details because then it gets too much into the weeds of the movie. But in a nutshell, after that, Phil's character basically completely switched and is being super nice to the kid. And like wants to like, him to like go out with him and basically he's building like this, making like this rope for him and things of this nature. And, and there's the kind of this thing is like, is he really being nice to the kid? Or is he just basically because he caught him doing something or caught his like secret place where he goes off and hides basically because he caught him there? Is he just basically being nice to him to eventually, do some sort of bodily harm to him? And that's kind of the nutshell of the story without going too much into, what happened. In a nutshell, I dug it. I actually liked it. I've always been a big fan of Westerns, and this isn't, I call it a Western, but this isn't like, because it's kind of set in the West, but this isn't like the Western in terms of like the shoot 'em ups, that kind of stuff. So it's not that, it's more of a drama, I guess, if you will.
Right.
But it definitely is one of those, but it's still considered to be a Western, I guess, just on principle that it's set in the West and they're basically cowboys, they're basically ranchers. So it is still a Western in that sense. But most of the movie is just, basically about whether or not he's going to do some bodily harm to this boy, basically. And I dug it. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was interesting. There's definitely, some twists that happened in the film that I didn't see initially. At some point, I did figure out something just because of certain things that were going on, but I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, I dug it, and it was nice to see. Obviously, I haven't watched a lot of Benjamin Cumberbatch films outside of like the Marvel universe. I mean, I've seen other movies that he's been in, or other things that he's been in. I just don't know him all that well. So this was kind of I think a really good performance for him because it definitely showed him in a different light, completely opposite of a Doctor Strange character, if you will. So I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. But I thought all the performances were good. I mean, they're all phenomenal actors and actresses. So all the performances were good. But yeah, I liked it. What was your take, Jason?
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was really great in it. I also thought Kirsten Dunst was really great in it, and I liked also that it reunited Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons, who, from Fargo season 2, which I know you and I are both a huge fan of that show, especially that season.
Yeah. And they're married in real life as well. So they
are? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're married in real life.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Oh, okay, cool. No wonder they work so well together on screen.
Yeah. They have some amazing chemistry.
Yeah, it's like fireworks,
they actually like each other or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
No, they're actually a couple in real life.
I did not know that. Yeah, but yeah, I liked it a lot. I if anything, I had some, I don't want to go into spoilers, of course, but it's one of those movies, and there are other movies like this that it's not necessarily a fault of the movie. It's my own expectations, because it seems to be like it does a really good job of like escalating tension. And like, it's one of those movies that seems to be building to like a big catharsis, like not necessarily violent, but some kind of big dramatic catharsis. And while there is like definitely a definitive resolution, I guess I should say, it doesn't really deliver the fireworks that I was kind of expecting. You know what I mean? So I think that might be more of a fault of my own expectations, and I probably wouldn't mind that on a rewatch. But I guess I just thought it was going to be building to some like big violent fireworks, and those never really arrive. Although there is, there's definitely, I don't want to say, but there is a definitive ending, dramatically satisfying ending. I'll put it that way. But yeah, the performances were really good. Like the atmosphere was great. The music was great. I really enjoyed it, and I would like to watch it again and see how it plays on a second viewing.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked it quite a bit, believe it or not. I thought it was definitely one of the better films that I've seen of 2021 for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, because I didn't know much about the movie going into it, to be honest with you. I mean, I heard that it was getting great reviews and a lot of people were liking it. It was showing up on some critics' top 10 lists, but it wasn't a film that I initially was that intrigued to see. I hadn't seen any trailers for it, but from what I could tell, I could tell that it was set in the West, but I knew it wasn't going to be the typical Westerns that I enjoy. You know, I knew it wasn't going to be like a Good and the Bad, the Ugly, or the Wild Bunch, or anything crazy like that, where it's going to like this big old shoot 'em up. Which is something that, you know, I kind of expect from a lot of films that are set in the West, you know. This is definitely more of a drama, but it was definitely a lot of tension. You know what I mean? And you could feel the tension like continuously keep building and building and building. And I get what you're saying, because it kind of builds up and it never just like explodes in a way that you expect it's going to. But I kind of like that in this case. You know, I don't always enjoy that. You know, I do feel like some films are kind of a sucker punch because they kind of, you know, let you down in a nutshell in some ways or some capacity. But you know, this one I kind of liked that it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, and I thought it made for an interesting, you know, I don't know, better story. But I liked it. Sometimes they do something different than what you think is going to happen. You know, because this definitely wasn't the kind of film that I thought was going to be, you know, twisty turny or any types of real big surprises or anything of that nature. And it definitely wasn't the kind of film that I thought that, you know, was going to go in the direction that it went into. And so I kind of liked that it did do that. So, so I think there's something to be said, because it could have definitely went, you know, and some, you know, out with some big fireworks, but we would have expected that. You know what I mean? I think that we all would have expected it, and I like that it didn't do that in this case. So so it worked for me. That it didn't go that way. So
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely enjoyed that one for sure.
Good.
Great. Well, anything else you wanted to add about The Power of the Dog?
Nope.
Cool. Well, what is your overall grade and face you would give this one then?
I would give this a 4 out of 5, which is a solid B+, which is a, you know, big smile. Maybe not like a maniacal smile, but a big smile. And thumbs up.
Cool. I actually gave it the exact same grade, 4 out of 5, which, you know, according to Jason, is the highest grade that I give.
Yeah, your 4 out of 5 is different from my 4 out of 5, but we both liked it.
So my 4 out of 5 means that I absolutely loved it. So it gets a giant smile just to...
which begs the question, where do you go from there if you do a 4.5 or a 5?
I just like rip my whole head.
You have to rip your jaw apart for a 5? See?
I turn into freaking Pac-Man when
No,
I loved it. Yeah, it's great. I thought it was one of the I truly thought it was one of the best films that I've seen of 2021. So I enjoyed it. I liked the way that it ended. I liked that it kind of took a different turn that I didn't necessarily expect. I did kind of see or sense something once it got to a certain point in the film, but initially I didn't see what I thought was going to happen. You know what I mean? I kind of thought it was going to go one way, and then it cuts back and does a different direction on you. So I liked it. I kind of liked that aspect of it. So
good.
So yeah.
Cool.
Well, great. Well, yeah. Well, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen The Power of the Dog? Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we'll be back again with another show for you guys again real soon. We thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.